Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. The 11th day of June in the second hour. We've got Mike Randolph waiting in the wings. But before we get to Mike, I wanted to finish up with the last caller from Montana. And we also have someone, I've lost my Skype feed, by the way, for the guys in the back office. So I can't. Karen, okay, thanks very much. So we're going to get to Karen in just a second. But one thing I wanted to tell Elaine from Montana, additionally with psoriasis, it's our belief that psoriasis is caused by oxidative damage to the skin. Oxidative damage to the skin. So one of the central strategies then to support and promote the structure and is to support and promote the structure and function of the skin. And we do that with the glucogel. We kind of get a 2-for-1 here because the skin needs the same nutrients that the joints do. It's very interesting. The skin needs the same nutrients, more or less, that the joints do, plus a little bit of extra essential fatty acids. So the glucogel is going to help the psoriasis. It's also going to help the bones and the joints. It's going to help the skin, and it's going to help the bones and the joints. And additionally, the final piece of the pie here is to make sure that your son dials in selenium supplementation. Selenium supplementation augments the body's own natural antioxidant, glutathione. And the recommendation would be 4 bottles of selenium a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month, and additionally, the icing, the cherry on the top of the parfait here is antioxidants in excess of 100,000. He needs 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, and 12 selenium a day on top of the program that I described before. Have him do that for 90 days, and if he doesn't notice a difference, I will eat my hat. All right, we're going to go talk to Karen, I think, about congestive heart failure. Thanks so much for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
Yeah, hey, how are you? Thanks for calling.
Well, I'm good. How are you? And I want to thank you for all you do.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome. But listen, hey, it's teamwork, right? If I couldn't exist without you and vice versa.
That's good. Yes.
So we're all in this together. I appreciate the kind words, though. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Well, my physician, son-in-law, but he's a good guy because he loves and uses the product.
Oh, good.
But he thinks I have congestive heart failure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, ouch.
And because I'm out of breath a lot, and I thought it was asthma. I was in denial on the symptoms. I thought it was asthma, and it started about in March of this year. And I have the swelling, of the stomach, the legs, the whole swelling thing going. Yeah. And I'm extremely tired.
Yeah.
So, but I am using the protocol, the longevity protocol, the no bad foods.
Yeah, and are you taking the de-stress?
De-stress, selenium, daily, EFAs, the enzymes FloraFX. So I'm taking, what I think are the supplements, the correct supplements. I've been gluten-free since May.
Good.
Yes, that's very good. But my biggest issue with this is that I'm out of breath. And like I walk, if I can't walk very far, like outside, without, huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
And what can I do to alleviate that symptom right now? It's very debilitating.
Well, there's not a whole lot that you can do. Your body needs, that's kind of like saying, oh, doc, I've got a broken leg, and every time I walk around on my crutches, the leg hurts. Well, it's going to hurt until it heals. The breathing is going to be a problem until your cardiovascular system comes around to the ability that it can come around, and you should expect 100% here. Yes. You should expect 100%. So, of course, this begs the question, right? For how many months have you been applying the program here? Oh,
you mean this particular, the protocol?
Yeah. How many months have you been applying this stuff?
Well, okay, I had a little bump in the road because I wasn't using all of the supplements because I was using ASAP.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm the one, okay? I was using ASAP, so they don't recommend using much of the supplements.
Yeah, and things got worse, right?
Yeah, it got worse. Everything got worse.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so I was doing them consistently. Well, okay, I can't say consistently.
Yeah. Well, I love your honesty. We need a lot more of that in the world, I tell you what.
But I am now doing consistent because
all right.
I
Okay,
can't handle
good. So, all right. So how many months or weeks or days have you been consistent?
Okay, let's say a couple weeks.
All right, very good. So 90 days is the framework inside of which you need to judge this program. 90 days, 90.
90 days? Okay.
Yeah, 90. 3 months,
yes.
12 weeks, 90 days. So, and how many of the de-stress are you taking a day?
3 and 3. 3 times 3.
All right.
So that would be 3 2 times a day.
All right, good. And how about the EFAs? How many of those are you taking a day?
I take about 9 to 12.
All right. How much do you weigh?
Well, I weigh 230.
Okay. So take 5, 10. Take 15 EFAs a day. Take 15 EFAs a day. 5, 5, and 5. And keep taking the amount of de-stress. So you're doing everything else correctly. You just need to give this more time. And really, the secret sauce here that's really going to turn this around for you, you've already done it. That's eliminate gluten. You know, right? Remember, there's 6 other foods you need to stop eating, right? Not just wheat, barley, rye, and oats. So you got to eliminate all 10 of the bad foods. And once you've done that, then that's really going to speed up the improvement here. So, good for you for getting on board with the program. Good for you for understanding that you'd kind of fallen off the horse. Good for you for getting back on the horse. Now it's just a matter of time. But really, don't force nature. Nature is going to fix this in its own time frame. There's nothing you can do to make the tomato get riper faster, right? There's nothing you can do to make the seed grow faster. You just have to put it in the ground and let it grow. Give this program 90 days. Just relax. I don't know, take up Sudoku or something at home. Just relax, let your body heal itself. Time is your best friend here. Does that sound good?
That does sound good. And now I thought about going to the doctor and getting blood tests, but I don't need that, do I? I really don't need to see an MD.
No, there's no reason to do this. I mean, you sound like you're in good hands, and this sounds to me like a reasonably good presumptive diagnosis. The other thing, whenever we see swelling anywhere in the body, though, we need to consider eating more protein. So make sure that 50% of the food that you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a protein source. 15% at least of the food that you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a protein source. And don't be afraid of salt. Salt your food so that it tastes good. And if you increase your protein consumption and maybe use just a little bit more salt, your digestive juices are going to kick in better. And that just might go a long way towards helping your body eliminate the excess fluid that's building up. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds great.
All right. Hey, listen, thanks so much for the call. You're welcome. Keep up the good work. Now go out there and get them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the luckiest day of your life. You've tuned in to Fire Your MD Now on the exact same very day when we have with us one of our favorite guests, Mike Randolph from the Longevity Company. Hey, Mike, welcome aboard. Welcome back.
It's always great to be here, Doc. How's it going?
Really, really good. In the next 3 minutes that we have left in this segment, bring me up to speed with the latest and the greatest in longevity. What's the latest buzz, baby? What's going on?
Well, the latest buzz, it's funny we talk about so many really fine-tuned company things on this call, but the latest buzz is we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are all set and on, they're on track and ready to go to Cancun on us coming up in November. I'm hoping that you've marked November 4th through the 8th on your calendar because, a trip outside the U.S. wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as safe, and it certainly wouldn't be as fun without Dr. Glidden.
Well, I appreciate that. Love Mexico, love Cancun, love the Caribbean. It's all good, man. But you know what the problem here is going to be? You guys might have bitten off more than you can chew. I mean, how many rooms did you have put away at the hotel? I mean, how many blocks of rooms did you guys squirrel away for longevity?
Well, that's a really good question. It's up in the air right now. We've ordered some room stretchers. and some beach extenders.
That's good.
Because right now we have somewhere between 750 and 1,000 people on track. And
wow.
I think we only have a couple hundred spots. So,
that's not funny. Wouldn't that be something? Well, hey, have you ever been to that part of Mexico, by the way?
I have been to Cabo, but I've never been to Cancun.
Yeah, what a difference. The Caribbean, well, Cabo San Lucas, the beaches and the waters are beautiful there. That's the Sea of Cortez. It's beautiful. But the Caribbean side, I don't know, man, it might be a little bit better. It's really, really excellent water. And did you know, I don't know if you knew this, but Cancun is a manufactured resort. The Mexican government, years and years ago, hired some, firm, I don't know who does this, but to figure out a place in Mexico that would be the best place to build a resort. And they said the Cancun area. So they built the entire thing. All of the sand that's in Cancun was trucked in. They built the beaches in Cancun. They built the beaches. They built everything that was there. You know, it's like Disneyland. It was specifically beforehand determined to be a destination tourist resort. They did a really good job with it, and the water is beautiful. It's a lot of fun. You want to stay away from Cancun during spring break, but in November, man, it's just what the doctor ordered. See, this is how we roll here in Longevity, ladies and gentlemen. The company is growing so quickly that they're having contests or giving away stuff. There's all kinds of bonuses that you can get. We've got vacation bonuses. We've got car bonuses. You can win all kinds of stuff. In addition to your monthly commission checks, which is the real bread and butter here. Over $200 multi-million in longevity. And how did they do it? By lifting their friends and family and community members into the wonderful world of health and wealth. Stick around. I'll be back with Mike Randolph after these messages. This is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fire Your MD Now. I'm your host, Dr. Peter Glidden. We are here with Mike Randolph, the Vice President of Leadership Development with Longevity. Now, Mike, last time I looked, they're putting crap in the food, crap in the water. We've got genetically modified foods. We've got fluoride in the water, that's the intention of which is to dumb us down. We've been completely boonswoggled by the pharmaceutical industry to think that MD-directed medicine is the peon of the alpha and the omega of medicine when it's actually the leading cause of death in the United States. And the banksters have the economic situation wrapped up tighter than a Christmas package. And oh my God, where do we go for help? I mean, how are we possibly going to get out of all of this, conspiracy, behind-the-scenes nonsense that seems to have us all screwed right to the wall?
That's a great question. You know what? You've said this on this show, I believe it was last week. It is an absolute fact that there is more money in the world today than there ever has been. There's more money today than there was yesterday. But the population at large is convinced that there's less and less and less of it. At least it feels like it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher to get our hands on it. And you know what? I do believe there is a conspiracy. It is a global conspiracy, but I don't believe it's quite as devious as a lot of people do. I think it's a little bit more incidental. I think there's people that are enlightened to the way that things really work, and there's people that just kind of go with the flow. I remember growing up in Southern California, Doc, and they taught us every day, you know what, kick back, take it easy, just go with the flow. And, you know, when you go with the flow, you don't know where you're going to go. And that's so many people right now are just, they're so focused in on their own little bubble that they're willing to ignore everything that's going on around them. They get all focused on, hey, let's raise the minimum wage. Let's raise the minimum wage. Let's not be a minimum wager. Let's go out there and find a way to write our own ticket. You know what's amazing? Money isn't everything. However, it's one of those tools you need in your toolbox if you want to get places. I just found out, I believe the gentleman's name is Dean Cain, the guy that invented that Sedgway thing,
Yeah.
Take over
I know
the
what you're talking about. Yeah. Dean Kamen.
Did you know he's got his own island and his own currency?
Yeah, he does. It's off the coast of Rhode Island, and he owns a helicopter factory, too. I mean, he commutes to work in a helicopter, and he liked it so much that he bought the company that made the helicopter. Dean Kamen made his original money way back in the day when he was like in his late teens, early 20s. He developed the first insulin pump. He developed the first insulin pump and patented it and sold it to, Big Pharma, and that's where he got all of his money. And, he's the kind of like the father of invention. But that's what we need more of, because we've gotten so much into the habit in this country of shrinking our dreams to fit our budget, because most people see no possible way of how they can possibly grow their budget to fit their dreams. And so when something comes along that actually allows them to do that, people are skeptical about it, and they don't want to believe it because, oh, no, that sounds too good to be true, and this is what we're up against.
Well, there's so many idioms and so many cliches that really serve to brainwash us. That is definitely one of them. If it seems too good to be true, then it probably is. Settle for less. I had slipped into that groove. I was one of the sheep. I was merrily going along, bleeding my way, following the Pied Piper, and not realizing that, when everyone's headed that way, you need to go this way. And those kinds of rules, they never change. I used to teach a class, and I'd open up the class guaranteeing everyone in the class, and I'll still do this today, even if the SEC is listening, I don't care, because I have a proven system guaranteed for you to make money in the stock market. And all you have to do is buy low and sell high. If you can do that, you will make money in the stock market. Then why is it that people, by and large, 90+% of the people that invest their money in the stock market do exactly the opposite? They buy high and they sell low. Why do they do that? Because systems are set up to take advantage of human nature and mob rule, and we get into these grooves where we're going with the flow, and you know what? A misery loves company, and I guess most people just want to be miserable.
Avoid the rocks, ladies and gentlemen. Join Youngevity. Join Youngevity now. Check us out, fireyourmdnow.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to the podcast and would like more information about the health opportunity or the wealth opportunity, that number, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. Now, Mike, I've always said, and I will continue to say, that the medical system in the free world doesn't need to be upregulated. It doesn't need to be downregulated. It doesn't need to be tweaked. It needs to be abandoned because it doesn't work. But the Obama administration has not listened. No administration listens because they are deeply ensconced in the myth of the medical man. And also Big Pharma has their fingers, their octopus-like tentacles inside of everything. I've heard about the fall in the fall, baby. What's going to happen with Obamacare? Give me a prediction.
Well, you know what? I think for a lot of us, it's going to be uncomfortable. I think it's going to bring a lot of things to bear, and I think it's going to collapse. I think we're going to see a situation across the country where, even local and state governments are throwing their hands up in the air saying, this is an unmanageable utopian idea that doesn't work. It doesn't work north of our border in Canada very well. It doesn't work. It didn't work in Massachusetts. There are people that are convinced that it works, but you can't maintain a system that is a burden to itself. I think when it comes to medicine especially and health, it's such an emotional issue. It's such a problem for folks. It's something that we don't want to talk about. We don't want to think about. We just want it fixed. We put our faith and trust in somebody who is trained incompletely and is admittedly just practicing on you. And, in a macroeconomic situation, it's going to fail. And I think it's the best thing that'll happen for the population at large, because it'll be unsustainable, it'll be untenable, and people will be forced to seek alternatives. Or, you know, the medicine that's worked for thousands upon thousands of years, that really should be normal medicine. What we have in our hospitals and in doctors' offices across the country, I think that's truly the alternative medicine. I think that's the stuff that's unproven. Those are the things that are, you know, voodoo. And I think it's going to force people to get back to that. And, you know, as a society, when enough people get results, when enough people start to believe that the earth is indeed round,
yeah,
all of a sudden everyone else can see it too. I think by complete accident, I think it's going to be the start of the greatest revolution that this country's ever seen.
Well, I hope that you're right. And, you know, for instance, China, they've got, 100 times as many people as we do. I mean, their population is unimaginable. They don't have a health care crisis in China. Well, why not? Because they only use Western medicine for trauma, for surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and for everything else they use acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine and herbal stuff that's been around for 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years, and they don't have a health care crisis because they've got it handled. But, you know, in some cities in China now, when they're introducing Big Macs and Kentucky Fried Chickens, they're starting to see an epidemic of obesity. Gee, I wonder if there's a relationship. We've got it backwards, ladies and gentlemen. Right from the very beginning, we've got it backwards. There's nothing inherently wrong with Western allopathic reductionistic medicine. It's just another piece of the pie of medical science, and it's really good for trauma care and for surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and a handful of infectious diseases. That's the wheelhouse of the MD. And, you know, in a perfect world, it would be illegal for an MD to do anything but emergency medicine, surgery when it's necessary, and trauma care. For everything else, you'd go to the naturopath, you'd go to the herbalist, you'd go to the acupuncturist, you'd go to somebody else whose professional medical domain could actually make a difference for you, a positive difference. But because of the monopolies that have been in place for 100 years, everybody has been convinced by Hawkeye Pierce and by George Clooney on, I can't even remember the name, that Grey's Anatomy, and by Marcus Welby, MD, that the MD is the king and that they know what's best for you. And your MD doesn't know what's best for you, folks. Your MD knows what they've been trained in only. And what they've been trained in is one small piece of the medical pie, but their heads are so far up their rear ends that they don't know any better, and they have no introspection, which is why the best possible thing that you can do for your health is to fire your medical doctor now and join Youngevity. And the best possible thing you can do for your wealth, guess what? The same thing. Fire your MD now and join Youngevity. Youngevity was set up by Dr. Wallach not to sell vitamins. Youngevity was set up by Dr. Wallach to heal America, to offer a solution, a health and an economic solution. We've got it dialed right in, folks. You need to join us now. You can hear the wave. You can hear the Youngevity wave late at night. You can hear it. If you put your ear to the ground, you can hear the rumble growing in the distance. That's the Youngevity wave. Jump in the water and get on the wave now before it passes you. Go to fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Youngevity button. Join Team Glidden. That's a good place to be if you want to be in Youngevity. And let me and my associates hold your hand and show you how to work the business opportunity, how to work the health opportunity, and how to make a difference in your world, because that's what we're up to, making a difference. And man, Mike, I was really blown away at the last conference by all of I knew that Youngevity had created, you know, a couple of multi-million-dollar earners, but there are hundreds. I mean, how many, do you know the exact count of how many multi-million-dollar earners Youngevity has created?
You know, I don't, because that's a number that we add to each and every month. It's become commonplace. And, you know, as we grow as individuals, as we grow as a company, and as those things become more normal and more commonplace, we're searching now not for our first multi-million-dollar earner, but we're searching for our first billion-dollar earner as this company continues to march towards $1 billion in sales. I mean, we have been featured in the direct selling news 16 times in the last 18 months.
Wow.
And, that's a direct selling news. We don't own the magazine. They want to print what people want to read, and people want to read about companies that are blowing and going and seeing success and changing lives and moving forward. And, we are on the cutting edge of getting back what we've lost, to getting back that entrepreneurial spirit, getting back the relationships. Our world kind of, after the Industrial Revolution, it kind of changed so quickly, and people, put themselves in these jobs at these mega corporations, and, they were given this weekly stipends of, and dictated to, this is how much you're worth an hour. And
right.
Most people, they get that in their head, and they start to do the math. They say, if I want, a $100,000 house, or if I want a $50,000 boat, or, whatever that is, it doesn't take them long to figure out, I don't have enough hours in my lifetime to achieve that. And when you give up hope, and when you lose hope, you'll fall for anything. You start, instead of looking 10 years, 20 years, 50 years down the road, you start looking 10, 15, 20 minutes down the road, because why bother looking that far into the future? My future prospects are terrible, so I'm going to focus just on this minute. In fact, I'm just going to live for Friday, because I can, I can curse my job on the way out the door Friday night. I can drink my sorrows away all day Saturday. I can recover from my hangover on Sunday, and then I can throw up Sunday night, because Monday morning I know I have to go back to that place.
Yeah, TGIF.
People.
It's crazy. I was listening to a radio show yesterday, and, there was they had the news bumper at the beginning of the segment, and it said, good news, a study just released by Princeton University shows that a college education is still an investment, a good investment. Researchers have crunched the numbers, and they've shown that on average, if you're a college graduate, you can expect to add $100,000 in your life to your income. $100,000. So your income's going to increase by $100,000 over the course of your life, not a year. $100,000 total over the course of your life by getting a college education. Well, that's great. How much did the college education cost? Oh, yeah, it was $80,000. Wow. So, then you add the interest from the student loans, you're actually in a net negative. College education ain't paying off like it used to, and people are scrambling for a solution. And guess what? Network marketing brings that right to the table. Now, I'm interested to know, Mike, because it took like an act of God to get me interested in network marketing. That's how far up my rear end my head was about network marketing. What was it for you? What was it that brought you into the light of the benefits, the financial possibilities of network marketing?
Well, I hate to admit this on a national, global show like this, Doc, but I'll tell you what finally pulled me out of the dark and into the light was complete, total, utter desperation. I had learned the corporate America way so good that even when I laid myself off from my last corporate America job, it still took me 18 months because it finally took me until the banks quit loaning me money, until I couldn't, borrow on credit cards anymore, until they had confiscated 2 vehicles and repoed my boat and done all these things, and I was backed into the corner, and I finally dropped to my knees and surrendered to the system, if you will, the system of network marketing, because I had taken the rules that I learned in corporate America and tried to apply them to this business. And those rules are, you have to learn things that no one else knows. You have to do things that no one else can do. You have to step on the necks of your friends and coworkers, and by golly, you should never recruit up. You should always surround yourself with people that are lesser than you, that are dumber than you, because if you put yourself with people that are better than you, then they're going to take your job away. And you take that mentality that we're taught from the moment we can, crawl out of our cribs, and you take that and you plug that into network marketing, and you're going to fail, and you're going to fail hard. Yeah. Because this business is the antithesis of corporate America. It's the antithesis of scratching and clawing. It is the most beneficial and symbiotic type of business you can ever plug in. You can't get where you want to go unless you help other people get where they want to go, and you always want to recruit up, if you will. You want to constantly surround yourself with people that are better than you. And to be honest with you, Doc, that's why I hang out with you when you're in town.
Well, there you go. That makes you the smartest man in class. It's teamwork, ladies and gentlemen, teamwork. If you want to build a team, you want to surround yourself with fun, forward-thinking people. If you're tired of shrinking your budget to fit your dreams, if you're tired of shrinking your dreams to fit your budget, if you're tired of scratching your way through the week to get to your next paycheck, if you're tired of waking up with no energy, going through your day with aches and pains, and going to bed with fitful dreams and fitful sleep, you have come to the right place. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now, and I'm as serious as a heart attack when I say it. Stick around. More with Mike Randolph when we come back. We're taking it home this afternoon with Mike Randolph, Vice President of Leadership Development with Youngevity. So, Mike, Youngevity continues to break sales records every month. They're featured in Success from Home. That hits the newsstands. When does the Success from Home magazine hit the newsstands? Is that in July?
It's the July edition. I believe it's on the stands now. I've heard rumors. I've seen pictures of people running around town taking snapshots of the magazines in the racks. Yeah. It's an amazing thing. And to me, it's part of this. I think of it as kind of a renaissance, a returning to some old-fashioned values, if you will. Everybody's got a website. Everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody's got all this stuff, and people can create websites from thin air. And as a result, we're so blitzed with all this electronic media that it's lost its meaning. It's lost its credibility. And here we are, featured in a printed magazine, that you can look, touch, feel, grab. You can flip the pages. You can carry it around with you. And for some reason, that has re-energized people. It wasn't easy getting in that magazine. Only 12 companies this year will be featured in that magazine. We're one of those 12. In fact, the results have been so good, not only for Youngevity, but for the publisher of the magazine. They're already trying to get us scheduled for interviews for another magazine next year. So it's an amazing thing. And when I see people carrying those around, when, they disregard websites and look at all those things as me too, me too, me too, I think in today's world, going back to the true interactive types of media, the more tactile things, the eyeball to eyeball, kneecap to kneecap kind of interaction, people are eating it up. They're sick and tired of the mega big box stores and the antiseptic environments that we're forced to live and shop and just exist in. And Youngevity is such a breath of fresh air from a health perspective and from a wealth perspective. You truly can name your ticket here, because your value is not based upon an hourly rate or a daily rate or an annual salary or any of that stuff. Your value here is strictly based on the number of people that you can reach out and touch and help in a positive way. And, corporate America folks, they call that a cult. They call that crazy. Well, you know what? This is my kind of crazy. I've been involved with this now for 21-plus years. Will not trade it for anything. I'm going to be in our industry with Youngevity for the foreseeable future, with you, with Dr. Wallach, with Bill Andreoli, with Steve and Michelle Wallach, all the way until until the day they plant me in the ground. And based on your teachings, that's going to be in triple digits, I have a feeling. So I've got a little ways to go.
Yeah, and the good news is that once you turn 100, there's no more income tax. You are income tax free in the United States. You do not have to pay the income tax after you're 100 years of age. We could make the argument, quite frankly, that there's no law that makes you liable for the income tax right now, but that's the subject for another show entirely. You're hearing it from the expert, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Mike Randolph, who's been in network marketing for over 2 decades. You've got Dr. Glidden, who's been in holistic health care for over 2 decades. And we're telling you the God's honest truth. If you are struggling with a health issue, if you're struggling with a wealth issue, then you have found your solution. Longevity. Join Longevity and let us hold your hand and bring you into the light. Let us teach you the simple system to your success. You don't even have to know how to spell vitamin to have a successful longevity business. All you need is motivation. If you've got motivation, we have the method. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best thing to happen to medicine since the invention of the sterile technique, and it's the best thing to happen to finances since compound interest. Mike Randolph, always a pleasure. Thanks for showing up, buddy.
Hey, thank you, Doc. It's an honor to be here.
See you next time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Check me out 24/7 on the World Wide Web. You know where I am. FireYourMDNow.com. That's right, FireYourMDNow.com. See you around campus. See you tomorrow.